Welcome to the second part of Tales of the Wandering Soldier. If you haven't already, be sure to check out part 1 before watching this video so that you don't miss any of the details. I am your host, and my job is to bring you the most amazing stories I possibly can. So let's get into it. Justin's unit was sent deep into the heart of the South American jungle to flush out a group of rebels. He and his men trekked for days through thick foliage. The air so humid it felt like a sauna, but the oppressive atmosphere was nothing compared to the cacophony of noise that assaulted their ears the deeper they went. Every rustle, snap, and splash was echoed back at them tenfold, as if some unseen entity was mocking their intrusion into its domain. "What the hell is going on here?" Justin had asked his sergeant. The grizzled veteran had merely shrugged, his eyes narrowed in concentration as he hacked away at the vines that threatened to engulf them. "Don't know and don't want to find out," he'd replied, his voice grim. "Just keep moving." The soldiers dubbed it the Jungle of Echoes, a name that spread through the camp like wildfire. Whispers of spirits haunting the area, of ancient curses and vengeful entities took root and spread among the men. Fear, thick and cloying, settled over the camp, making sleep a luxury no one could afford. Justin, however, refused to be cowed by superstition. He'd seen enough jungles to know that nature often mimicked human sounds. There had to be a logical explanation for the echoes. He just had to find it. He began by recording the sounds, hoping to identify the source through his recordings. At first, it was just random noises. Wind through the trees, birds calling to each other, even the buzzing of insects. But then there were the echoes. They came at regular intervals, mimicking the sounds of the jungle perfectly. Justin's men were skeptical of his investigation, but some of the younger soldiers, those who hadn't yet been hardened by years of combat, were intrigued. They gathered around, listening intently as Justin played back the recordings. Then one of the older soldiers, a man named Delgado, who'd seen more jungles than he cared to remember, suddenly sat up straight. "There!" he exclaimed, pointing to one of the recordings. "Did you hear that? There's something in the background." And there it was, barely audible, but undeniably present. A low rumble like distant thunder. Justin played the recording again, this time slowing it down. The rumble was definitely coming from within the jungle, not above them. Following the sound, they found a narrow opening leading into a cave. Inside, the air was cooler, damper, and the sound of the jungle was replaced by an eerie silence. Armed with only their machetes, the soldiers hacked their way deeper into the cave, the tunnel narrowing until it was just wide enough for them to walk through. Then, suddenly, the tunnel opened up into a large cavern. And there, in the flickering light of their torches, they saw them. Hundreds of rebels armed to the teeth, their faces painted with war colors, their eyes blazing with defiance. It was the source of the echoes. The leader of the rebel force stepped forward, a sneer twisting his lips. "You shouldn't have followed the sound," he said, his voice echoing through the cavern. "Now you've walked right into our trap." Justin, his face grim, raised his weapon. "Looks like we found your secret hideout," he said. And now, it's over. With a roar, the rebels attacked, their weapons flashing in the firelight. The battle was fierce, but the soldiers were victorious. And as the last rebel fell, the sound of the jungle faded away, leaving behind an eerie silence. The soldiers emerged from the cave, blinking in the bright sunlight. The jungle was silent now, the echoes gone. But the memory of the battle, of the hidden cave, and the fierce rebels who called it home would stay with them forever. For more tales of adventure and heroism, be sure to stay tuned. And if you've got a story of your own to tell, why not share it with us? Who knows? You might see your tale brought to life just like Justin's story.